Will the House come to order? Mr. Clerk?
Aloha and good morning. Today's invocation will be delivered by Representative Della Ao-Beladi. Will the members who wish to participate please rise?
Please remain seated. On this 55th legislative day of the 32nd State Legislature regular session 2023, and we will be going into our conference committee meetings. So on this 55th day, if we could take a moment of silence and center ourselves for what will be a busy 5 days. Thank you. Good luck in conference hall.
Thank you, Representative Bellotti. Item 1, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Ayu? Mr. Alcos? Ms. Amato? Ms. Bellotti? Mr. Chun? Ms. Cochran? Mr. Evslin? Mr. Ganadin?
Representative Kennedy.
Mr. Garcia? Mr. Garrett? Mr. Gates? Mr. Hashem? Mr. Hashimoto? Mr. Holt? Ms. Hussey Burdick? Ms. Ichiyama? Ms. Kahaloa? Ms. Capella? Mr. Kila? Ms. Kitagawa? Mr. Kobayashi? Mr. Kong? Ms. Lachika? Ms. Lamasao? Ms. Lowen? Ms. Martin? Ms. Martinez?
Excuse.
Mr. Matayoshi? Ms. Matsumoto? Mr. Mizuno? Ms. Morikawa? Ms. Nakamura? Mr. Nakashima? Mr. Nishimoto? Mr. Onishi? Ms. Peruso? Mr. Pirik? Ms. Poepoe? Mr. Quinlan? Mr. Saiki? Mr. Sayama? Ms. Souza? Mr. Takayama? Ms. Takenouchi? Mr. Tam? Mr. Tarnas? Mr. Todd? Mr. Ward? Mr. Woodson? Mr. Yamashita? Mr. Speaker.
Present.
Mr. Speaker, 50 members are present, 1 is excused.
Thank you. Item 2, reading of the journal. Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, may this matter be deferred.
So ordered. Item 3, Mr. Clerk, are there any messages from the governor?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, we are in receipt of Governor's message numbers 10 and 11, informing the House that a tentative agreement has been made with HGEA and UPW for the reopener for EUTF contributions and transmitting proposed measures to fund the agreements. May this matters be received and filed.
So ordered. Mr. Clerk, are there any further messages from the governor?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, we are in further receipt of message number 1128, informing the House that on April 21st, 2023, Senate Bill number 921 was vetoed. May this matter be received for possible consideration at a later date.
So ordered. Item 4, Mr. Clerk, are there any Senate communications?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, if you and the members will turn your attention to the addendum to today's order of the day. We are in receipt of communications returning the noted House concurrent resolutions, all having been adopted in the Senate. We are in further receipt of communication informing the House that the Senate has reconsidered action in disagreeing to the amendments proposed by the House, has moved to agree and pass the noted Senate bill on final reading. Additionally, we are in receipt of communications informing the House that the Senate has appointed conferees to the noted House and Senate bills. Finally, we are in receipt of a communication informing the House that the Senate has agreed to changes to conferees to the noted Senate bill.
Members, are there any introductions? No further introductions. Item 5, reports of standing committees. Representative Nakamura.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adopt standing committee reports numbers 2240 through 2257 as listed on pages 2 through 6, and that the accompanying House resolution and Senate concurrent resolutions as may be amended be adopted.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Any discussion on STANCOM report 2240? 2241. Representative Ward.
Speaker, I stand in strong support with a very brief comment.
Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, this reso is prescient. It's a forerunner of what's to come in the future. And not only because of Elon Musk for years having warned us about artificial intelligence, but the fact that it's a reality. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, I request ChatGPT to enter as the remarks in the journal for myself. Thank you.
Moving on, 2242.
Mr. Speaker, are they granted? May I enter remarks into the journal?
Representative Ward, if you wish to insert comments to the journal.
Yes, I wish to insert GPT chat comments into the journal.
We'll review your comments.
Thank you, sir.
2242. Next page, 2243. 2244, Representative Garcia.
No vote.
So ordered. 2245, Representative Pierrick.
No vote.
So ordered. Representative Garcia.
Same request.
So ordered. 2246. Next page, 2247. 2248. 2249. Representative Garcia.
Reservations.
So ordered. Representative Pierrick.
No, please.
So ordered. 2250. Representative Peruso.
No vote.
So ordered. Representative Capella.
No vote.
So ordered. Representative Pierrick.
In support,
Proceed.
I'd like to thank this body for introducing a measure that would promote the police department in our education system. They have a recruitment and retention problem, and with the more police we have, I believe the safer neighborhoods we can have. When I went door to door, we had most of my constituents said something about safety, something about crime as an issue in my district. So the more police we can have, I believe the less crime we can have.
Next page. Oh, Representative Amato, did you
With-
want to speak on 2250?
2250, please.
Proceed.
With reservations.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Next page, 2251. 2252. 2253. Representative Pierrick.
No, please.
So ordered. Representative Garcia.
Same request.
So ordered. Representative Alcos.
No vote.
So ordered. 2254. Representative Pierrick.
In opposition?
Proceed.
So this is a resolution that is asking for basically more support in insurance for people who undergo abortion. I'd like to read part of this resolution so that we know what measure we're connecting on. It says, whereas Hawaii has long been a leader in advancing reproductive rights and advancing for equitable and affordable access to sexual and reproductive health care, etc. The word equitable is used here. I think that's not a correct term because when we're thinking about the rights of the child, that's not as equally imbalanced with the woman in this case. It says in the beginning, reproductive rights. I support contraception. I do not support abortion. The next paragraph says that these rights are consistently threatened. I wonder who's threatening contraception. I know, I support contraception. When they say things like consistently threatened, that kind of gives a rise of like fear or be alarmed. I don't think that the phrase is rightfully used. The fourth paragraph says that whereas the previous administration made it difficult for insurers to cover abortion care and assembled a Supreme Court whose actions resulted in restricted abortion access. So it puts the Roe v. Wade decision on the fault of the prior administration, the presidential administration. I think that 100 senators nationwide voted on the confirmation of our Supreme Court judges that helped the overturning of Roe v. Wade. So I don't think it's fair to blame a prior presidential decision on a judicial decision. Also, it says on the second page, top paragraph, that this resolution is in connection to a House bill that was introduced to help with these insurance measures. Interestingly, that House bill never even got a hearing. So, just a point of record. Thank you.
Representative Garcia.
No vote.
So ordered. Representative Alcos.
Same request.
So ordered. Representative Kong.
No vote, please.
So ordered. Representative Matsumoto.
Same request.
So ordered. Representative Ward.
Same request.
So ordered. Representative Capella.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to clarify for anyone who may not understand what reproductive health is. Oh, very much in support. But for anyone who doesn't understand what reproductive health care is, I mean, that also covers things like mammograms. It covers cervical exams so that you can check whether or not you have cancer. So I think it's really important that we support reproductive health care in all forms. It's not just abortion care. It's much more.
Representative Peruso.
In strong support
Proceed.
of all of the language used in the resolution. Thank you.
Representative Ganadin.
Same request.
So ordered. Representative Ward, second time.
Speaker, at the appropriate moment, can we go back to 2253? Thank you.
2253. Okay. All right, members. We're going to go back to second time.
On, 20,
Representative Pierre,
on 2254 in opposition,
proceed.
I have the survey results that I sent out to my constituents, asking them the question, at what point do you feel the law should allow abortion? Multiple results or multiple questions. One option was, I do not support abortion. 33 people responded, they don't support abortion at all. The other options were at the heartbeat, you can have an abortion, first trimester at 12 weeks, once the child is viable, as the current Hawaii Revised Statutes is. The other option was at the end of the second trimester, and then one is up to birth. A majority of my constituents selected, I do not support abortion at all. And then a few people selected the other options. I think that's important to note that we're representing our constituents when we give speeches against abortion. I support contraception, I support reproductive health. I don't support, as to use the words of one of the survey results, quote, I don't support murder and neither should you, end quote. That's what my constituents said, and it's my role to represent them in this body.
All right, members, we're going to move back to Stand-Com Report 2253. Representative Ward.
No vote, please.
So ordered. Next page, 2255. 2256. 2257. The chair will call a voice vote. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. Item 6. Members, are there any announcements? Representative Lamasao.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to request for a moment of silence for a close friend and mentor, Jimmy Nakatani. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, will proceed with the moment of silence after we adjourn. Representative Ward.
Speaker, I have an invitation to lunch from the U.S. vets. As a Vietnam veteran, they have done probably more for the homeless Vietnam veterans than anyone. So this Thursday at 12:30, they will be in the auditorium having lunch and kind of giving, as they have done in the past, an update on how they do what they do and how well that they do it. So please reserve your lunch and see you this week. Thank you.
No further announcements. Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this House stand adjourned until 11:30 a.m. tomorrow.
Representative Garcia.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. The House stands adjourned until 11:30 tomorrow.